Stand up for fit and strength, and everyone then cut out of the gun visit America. Gun not do nothing wrong, you know, man. But when they drop in at the blast to the round.
Yeah, my 16-year-old put together the bumper music today, which means he's somewhere out in the Westphalia van with Eka Mouse outside the grill. 866-509-RANT, 866-509-RANT. That Jump Niabingi by Bob Marley and the Wailers on Reggae Bumper Music Wednesday. We're joined by the beautiful Adam Carolla for this segment, and we lost a good one there, Bobby Schimmel. Tell me your thoughts on Shims.
Well, brutally honest,
yeah,
super funny, but just, just a mensch of a guy. When I did terrestrial radio, every time he did the show, he would show up with about $80 worth of pressed juices and a fruit platter from Whole Foods. At 6:45 in the morning. He would just think to stop off at the Whole Foods before he came in. When my twins were born, he sent over some onesies for them. And again, we were professionally friendly, but I didn't send over anything when his kids were born,
Yeah, he was a thoughtful cat. Yeah.
We weren't chums. We were just guys who respected each other and, knew each other from doing the radio. He's just a thoughtful guy. And it's just this weird thing, and I know everyone has this feeling at one point or another when they talk about someone who's departed, but this notion of never seeing Bob Schimmel on stage again, or never interviewing him again, or never hearing another one of his crazy stories about his personal life, it's just insane that you're never going to hear that again.
Yeah, he had a rough exterior sometimes, but Shim had to be one of the 5 sweetest people I ever crossed paths with in the business. Now, you're speaking about he used to visit you in the studio, and that leads us to Andrew in Pullman, Washington. He's got a question for you about terrestrial.
Sure.
Go ahead, Andrew. You're on with Adam Carolla.
Thanks, Dennis. Oh, Adam, it's so great that they have reggae bumper music on today for you. I remember your thoughts on that.
Yeah. Well, all we need is one reggae album, and we're done. That's my reggae.
It was my kid's junior achievement project. What can I say?
But it's like there's 750,000 Hawaiian shirts, and we only need 3. It's covered.
All right.
On it, it's oversized.
Point taken. Point noted. Andrew, what do you got for Adam?
Adam, I love you, and I miss you, man. Are you ever considering getting back into radio?
It comes up from time to time, but just like every other part of the economy, it's rough out there.
Yeah, it is rough, man.
And when it's rough out there, it's no different than the housing market. They pretty much just offer you half of what you paid for the house, and they go take it or leave it because they know there's so many people that are out of work and so many people that are looking to get back into it. And for me, I've started this other enterprise. So unless something very interesting and lucrative comes around, I probably won't be making my way back into terrestrial radio. But you have Dennis Miller.
Yeah, well, listen, like you said, you push the pebble down the hill on the other thing. You got to now stay and reap the benefits of it. Let's go to Rich in Tacoma. Rich, you're on with Adam Carolla. What's up?
Hey, guys, I'm a huge fan of both of y'all. You're like 2 of my favorite all-time entertainers, and I swear if the Ace Man was in the studio with you, Dennis, you could click your fist together and turn into some giant, awesome Japanese robot.
Beautiful, my friend. I like it.
Also, I'm glad that you brought Ace Man. I'm glad you brought up the peanut allergies because that's been a pet peeve of mine for years. I get seasonal hay fever allergies, so I have some sympathy for allergy sufferers, but if you're so allergic to peanuts that they can kill you, if you can be murdered with a Snickers bar, it's a sign. God doesn't like you.
I agree. I mentioned in my book that how many people forget, peanut allergies. You got to substitute the peanut butter and jelly sandwich for liverwurst or bologna or egg salad. Those things are sitting out in the hot sun for 5 hours, rolling around in a Scooby-Doo, lunchbox. How many people are just getting salmonella poisoning from mayonnaise that went bad,
right,
or eggs that turned, or God knows what a tuna salad sandwich does after a few hours bounce around in a school bus.
No, it turns into the Andromeda strain. So they get you coming, they get you going. Let's go to Israel in Alabama. How's that name working out in Bama, baby? That's got to be a run, Forrest, run every day of your life. What's happening?
Not much. Speaking of peanuts, first off, you guys are like my favorite thing, like chocolate and peanut butter. You two guys together are like Reese's Cups. Can't beat it.
Thank you, baby.
And then second, just about the politicization, I guess is the way we call it here in the South, about guys becoming good ones, you know. Every guy on every sitcom now seems to be the butt of the jokes. There's no head of the family anymore, you know. Some of the shows are funny, Family Guy, you know, hilarious show if you take it as what you see it. But every guy is just made out to be such an idiot, and the woman is always have to come in and save the day. It's not a sexist, love my wife, love my daughter, but...
but everybody's whipped. Why is it, Adam? I guess we're the ones that are whippable because we're the ones who, at the end of the day, are kind of winning, so I guess they can poke fun at the guys, right?
It's like every single commercial when the wife goes out of town and then calls the husband and says, how's breakfast going? And they... smash cut to him dumping the waffle batter into the toaster.
Right.
Meanwhile, the guy's an attorney
right.
or an engineer.
Yeah.
Look, he doesn't have a brain injury. He may not be Chef Boyardee, but he's not a moron. Look, it's the same. It works the same way with the races. The ones that are doing well, you can make jokes about, and the ones that aren't doing well, you can't make jokes about.
Right.
As a matter of fact, if you try to do a pilot on NBC or CBS or one of the main networks, they don't even like you saying Mexican. They look at that as a derogatory term.
Right.
And it's like, yeah, but the guy's Mexican. And they're like, yeah, could you not say that? And I always say to them, what you're saying is right.
Right. Noticing that or saying that that's a problem. By the way, NBC in such rough shape now, they shot more pilots than the Khmer Rouge this year. All right, I got to rock. Carolla, good to talk to you, baby.
Always great, Dennis.
All right, later. Talk down the road. Dennis Miller Show.